welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to go over the 5 reasons why you should not move to South Carolina. And they're going to be legitimate reasons and not just, oh, you shouldn't move to South Carolina because you'll just have so much fun. No, we're going to discuss some real reasons why you may choose not to move to South Carolina. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jonathan.tiedman, joined with my wife, Heather.tiedman, and together we make up the Lexington group, powered by eXp Realty. If you guys are interested in things South Carolina and are looking for a realtor in the South Carolina, Columbia, Lexington area, be sure to reach out to us.
Now let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the number one thing that you probably heard 100 times before, and that is our weather. And there's a good reason for it. In the summer, it is hot. You walk outside, you're instantly sticky because it's just so humid out here. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I know some places can be hotter, but it's just if you're not used to our kinds of hot, where the humidity's up to like 85%, sometimes even higher, it's just, you feel like you just walked out of the shower when you step outside, and it can be like in your face.
Oh, it is. It feels like that. I've grown up here my entire life. I've lived here my entire life, and I still, to this day, I'm kind of blown away every time summer rolls around. So I know how uncomfortable it has to be for you, not even being from here.
Yeah, coming from New York, it's just night and day difference.
But the trade-off with that is our winters, are not nearly as cold as, say, New York. We don't have to shovel snow, but that can also be a con if you're wanting to see a white Christmas, because we don't have those. I'm 31 years old. I've never seen a white Christmas in my entire life. So that's going to be a trade-off. If you're looking for a mild winter, it could be a plus, but if you're not, it could be a con as well. You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The second thing we want to talk about is bugs. Not just bugs, but mosquitoes particularly. Like,
you actually just saw a moth flying across the room.
There's a lot of bugs in South Carolina. I mean, it is crazy. When you're driving down the highway and you see looking through a nice clear windshield, and then you see like some fuzzy things in front of you, and next thing you know, your windshield's caked in just bug guts. It's gross. And when I actually first moved down here, I wasn't used to it. So it was 95 degrees out in the middle of summer, and I walked outside with long socks, sweatpants on. My shirt was tucked into my sweatpants. My sweatpants were tucked into my socks. I had a scarf on, and I actually had a hat that had like that beekeeper's mask over it because the mosquitoes were so bad. I would go outside to feed the animals, and it was just so bad that I'd rather sweat profusely than have to deal with the mosquitoes. And I've gotten a little more used to it since then.
He's a little extra, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you don't have to do that. Mosquitoes are bad, but I don't know if they're sweatpants and 95-degree weather bad, but you know. And speaking of your windshield covering bugs, and you talk about your car, the roads. Oh gosh, those roads are terrible. Have you ever seen the meme to where you're driving through North Carolina and it's smooth sailing, you know the second you get into South Carolina because it's
just the whole car starts vibrating.
Yeah.
Just holes, potholes everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, a lot of times if you're not paying attention, you can mess up a tire or a rim. So it's definitely something to keep your eyes out for.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention because rocks can fly up. That happens a lot. I've actually replaced 3 windshields.
I think it was 2. It might have been 3.
Yeah, somewhere in there in the last 10, 12 years that we've had to replace windshields because the roads are just so bad that rocks are constantly flying up. They are working on it. That is another joke that you'll find when you move here about how there is just constant construction on I-20. Like, it's just in a state of constant
disarray. Yeah.
It's always working on itself.
So even when you're driving down the road right by our house, there's a corner, and you just gotta kind of follow behind the person in front of you because there's like a secret hidden path you gotta take around the potholes that if you're not from around here, you would have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another thing that you want to keep in mind when you're just moving here. So another thing that you're gonna find when you move here, and which may actually be a shock to you because you always hear about how nice and sweet we are in the South, And honestly, most of us, the vast majority of us are. We are very nice and we're very welcoming. However, you are going to run into people that just don't want you here. And that is unfortunate. I mean, it's probably that way everywhere you go, but there are going to be people that are mad that you're here.
Yeah, especially when I came down from New York, a lot of kids in school called me a damn Yankee. Well, I didn't really know what that was, but it was just a reference to someone who came from the North and moved into South Carolina. It's just something I wasn't expecting.
And for the most part, it'll be things that you see online, especially if you mention that you are not from around here and you wish we had a restaurant that is from a different area. Oh man, if you mention that, just be prepared for every single person that is mad that you're here to come out of the woodworks.
Internet access. So a lot of people come to South Carolina, they're working remotely because of COVID or things like that, and they'll be surprised to find out that a lot of areas don't have access to high-speed internet. So, like, considering now we got 5G technology and things like that, you think it would be more easily accessible. But as far as your DSL or fiber optic cables, they don't run everywhere in South Carolina. So it's definitely something you want to research before you come down here.
Before we moved to West Columbia, which is where we currently live, we lived in a tiny little town called Sally. We did not have internet. We had to do like a hotspot on your phone, and really nowhere around us had internet. So that is something to take into consideration if you're moving to a more rural area of South Carolina, is that we don't always have access to broadband. That is something they're working on though. And last I heard that actually in Sally and Wagner, they are getting the broadband access, which is, very nice. But that is something to keep in mind, that if you need it, it may not be available to you depending on where you live. Now, if you're moving to Columbia, Lexington, West Columbia, Irmo, those areas, the more populated areas, that's not really something that you need to concern yourself with, because we do have access to high-speed internet here.
And if you're coming to South Carolina and you're not sure, you can always ask your realtor.
We'll be the source of the source for you. So, that's pretty much it. That is the 5 things that we have. Oh, I think we did want to talk about a bonus tip, right?
Oh, yeah, the smell of money.
Yeah, the smell of money. Go ahead, tell them about the smell of money.
So as you're driving down the street in South Carolina, you may get a lovely, not so lovely smell, and it's chicken coops. A big agricultural profit here is chicken farming and chicken coops, and along with chickens come chicken poop. It's not good.
It's not good at all.
It smells terrible. So if you're driving down the road and you think, oh, I should roll my windows up, it's too late.
Yeah.
You have to go another 3 miles one direction to try and get away from it.
So that's just keep in mind, if you smell something that smells awful, it's the smell of money, baby. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and if you are here and you want to learn more about the Columbia, Lexington, or even just South Carolina in general, please like and subscribe, and drop a comment below and tell us where you're thinking about moving from.